We should start with the Wales tour, and obviously looking at that. Nantes scored yesterday. So it's going to be a massive tour. Humidity seems to be, and temperatures, and I've been reading things about players having to acclimatise now or getting ready for that, but it's going to be quite a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about most of all. I've played Sevens in Hong Kong, and I think it's pretty similar climate, and just not so much the heat, just doesn't seem to be any oxygen about them. It's pretty essential when you're running around for 80 minutes, so that's the biggest thing, and it's pretty hard to replicate over here. We've been turning the temperatures up everywhere for training and stuff, but can't really replicate. I think we'll have about a week before the first test once we're over there, so hopefully...
It's 90% humidity and stuff like that, I would read.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, I think.
Going to be good test. The squad's obviously a mix. Experienced players like itself, but a lot of young players coming through, a lot of new caps as well. And Emma Phillips from down here coming through his first cap. So, in terms of the kind of bringing young players through, important this kind of a tool really for them in terms of experience and what they can take from it as well.
Yeah, it's good. Like Robin said a few weeks ago, from the tour 4 years ago, X amount of British Lions, and people who won two Grand Slam or 2 championships in between. So it's good in terms of giving young players an opportunity, and hopefully they'll be the Grand Slam winners of the next few years.
For you personally, this must be a massive tour as well, because you've obviously been out, there's been injuries, changes and fluctuations. So do you see this as a really important tour for you personally, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's hard to get your foot in almost with when the boys are there, and like you say, little niggle and you're out for another year. So it'd be good for me hopefully, and go some way to get a regular spot in the national team. But it's down to me now.
And on the back of a very tough season, you played a lot of rugby, obviously captaining your side down here, taking them to a semi-final out in Ulster. How difficult is it then to get yourself mentally up for on top of that through the summer, while others go off and maybe have a bit of a break?
Yeah, it's hard to see the boys planning holidays and things, but I don't feel too bad, to be honest. Which is a bit of a rarity for this time of the season. A couple of months ago, I dreaded the thought of going on tour and any more rugby, but as it's come about, I'm excited to go. I don't feel too bad particularly, and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel and a break in a couple of weeks. So, it's not too bad.
Have you had any reflections on the season? Obviously, as captain and looking back on it, I mean, it was great highs, some sort of difficult moments towards December, January time, and the team really had to regroup. You're obviously a key part of that, and Simon talked about your leadership through that period and bringing sort of, I think it was 8 out of 9 games in a row to end the season in the semi-final. Have you sort of thought back over how it fluctuated, or look back on, particularly on Europe, I suppose?
No, I suppose when I sit down and everything's done for the year, then maybe I'll have a think, but it's hard to at the time, because if you sit and think about it too much, you'll dwell on it, you get lost in what's happening, and not see the bigger picture. So it's just we always kept focusing on what we wanted out of the season, our top 4 place, and what we were chasing, and that kept us going when times got tough. And luckily some of the games we got out of the way earlier on, some of those wins we had away, which we hadn't had for years, luckily set us in good stead when we did have that rocky patch. But yeah, just focusing on the end goal really was what got us through.
And how, in terms of getting to that semi-final, how important is that for this group? Obviously there are some players leaving, there'll be some new faces coming in, but a big strong core of the group have faced a semi-final together. You know what it takes together. Yeah. How important is that then for next season and building the campaign?
It will be big, I think, when we come back to it. Another year wiser, and I think if we said at the start of the season we get to a semi-final, we've been happy, and now we've got there. We're not happy with that. We're not happy with the way things ended, and that'll definitely be a motivation for next year to get to semis and go one further, if not 2 further. There's only a couple of games from potential silverware, so like you say, that a lot of the boys will experience that, and it will drive us on.
Have you thought about next season at all, or do you literally? I mean, obviously you've got a big tour with Wales now coming up, but have you sort of thought into what this team can do next season and what?
I think I think we can definitely build on this season. Obviously losing a couple of players, but hopefully, as we saw last year, recruitment over the summer been great. The players we brought in really made a difference, and hopefully we can do the same again. And always trying to improve on the season before. And just need to obviously fixing a few people up and getting them ready to go again. So I think we can definitely go 1 or 2 steps further than this year.
And for those people who, season tickets have been launched and people are already buying in, what can people expect from this team next season? If you were asked by a supporter, what am I going to see at Rugby at Scarlets next season? What would you say? How would you sum it up?
I think we've shown glimpses already this year. It's just obviously I think people want a bit of consistency, as we do as players. We strive to deliver the same performance week in, week out, but it's always difficult over the course of the season. But I think if we can be consistently as good as we have been in some of those games, like Munster out here, Glasgow out here, some of the way wins we've had, gone all the way, Munster away, then I think that's the difference between us and the top teams at the moment, who are consistently in the top. It's just that consistency week in, week out, and I think we're certainly building the squad that's capable of doing it. So it's just going into practice now, and hopefully some good rugby as well.
Some exciting rugby. A lot has also been said about the sort of changes in terms of the forward play and how that's moved us on as a team. That sort of more pragmatic approach, really. Is it finding the balance between that and the sort of Scarlet style and what we're known for as well?
Yeah, there's obviously pressure on us to check the ball about and score some fantastic tries, but I don't know how many people would come to watch if we were doing that and losing. Ultimately, it's about winning. So when we had that good run towards the end of the season, we were just focusing on winning.
Certainly, lots of rugby over the summer, and a lot of our young players as well. You'll know through obviously the Scarlet squad going through the World Cup at the 20s, which is a fantastic achievement. A lot of those involved with Wales, and then Lions tour as well. So there's plenty for people to keep up with in terms of rugby over the summer from a Scarlets perspective as well.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of future of Scarlets rugby will be on show. A lot of the boys in the 20s are pretty much the backbone of the team, and as we saw over the Six Nations, we've got a big contingent in there, and game winners who will hopefully be will definitely be the future of the Scarlets. So a lot to keep an eye on, away from Parker Scarlets before we get back.
Some needs to be spoken about the sort of the long run really for the Scarlets. It's been a great year of achievement this year in terms of getting to the top 4. We'll take that forward, but this is about 2 to 3 years of building success. Is that how you see it as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we've had a period of having to play youngsters and getting experience, and I think we've got to that point now. And I think we'd be a bit naive if we thought that was done and we'd start winning stuff straight away. I think it's going to take another couple of years of, like you say, success. Top 4, hopefully win the league next year, and then we can start looking at Heineken then and picking people off. But obviously we'd like to have something in the cabinet straight away. But I think, as you mentioned before, it's about learning about those semi-final situations and just believing that we can do it really.